it had a massive impact on my mental health and like my just normal day-to-day life. Like it literally just felt like I was like in prison.
Waiting can be hard, and it can be a lot harder when you're a victim or a defendant in a court case, potentially having to face a long time for justice.
When it would be cancelled, it literally would just feel like everything's just closing in. Like it's just, there's no end to it. It just felt like a constant nightmare.
T was assaulted by her ex-boyfriend. The case was delayed several times, exacerbating her anxiety.
I think it was like 6 times that my case was delayed. I felt like it was like a countdown. I felt like my life was on pause because I felt like I couldn't move forward until I knew the outcome.
Now Newsnight can reveal the most up-to-date figures on the long delays seen by some Crown Court cases in England and Wales. More than 300 outstanding cases have been waiting for 4 years or more for a conclusion, while 173 outstanding cases remain stuck in the system after 6 years. Already published government data shows 4,893 Crown Court cases have been waiting for 2 or more years to be heard, with a quarter of outstanding cases having been open for a year or more.
Barristers tell us there are multiple factors at play here. They say most of these cases are bail cases. Those who are placed on remand have to have their cases heard by a certain time. And that often means that people who are on bail have their cases repeatedly adjourned and put to the back of the queue, while newer cases take priority.
They also argue a shortage of judges and barristers is contributing to the delays.
The criminal justice system is in crisis. It's obvious because there aren't enough barristers to prosecute and defend. This means that cases that actually get to court are adjourned on a regular basis, and they're adjourned not just for a few days or a few weeks, but they're adjourned for months and even years. That is a system that is on the edge of collapse.
Analysis of recent MOJ data shows 118 sexual offence cases were adjourned on the day because no barristers were available between October and December 2022. This represents a tenfold increase over the same timeframe in 2021, when 15 sexual offence trials were adjourned because no prosecution or defence barristers were available. According to the government, there are currently more than 62,500 outstanding Crown Court cases in England and Wales. Ministers have a target of cutting that backlog to 53,000 by early 2025, but there is no target for how long it should take for a trial to finish.
Well, yes, so the Justice Committee have looked at this on a number of occasions, and we found that it's been underinvestment for decades. For example, I've been to courts where there's still the same maintenance issues that I found when I was a barrister in practice in 2008. They still haven't been fixed. And we're not talking about big sums. We're talking about less than 1% of public expenditure. Well under 1% goes on criminal justice. It's a fraction of a fraction that's involved here. And that's a minor sum to put into the pot to rectify what ought to be a world-class system.
The Ministry of Justice told Newsnight, these cases are mainly complex fraud or multi-defendant, multi-trial cases that ordinarily take a long time to prosecute and were particularly affected by COVID restrictions and the barristers' strike. It says our work to speed up justice since the pandemic, including opening extra courtrooms, enabling remote hearings and lifting the cap on court sitting days, is paying off, with the average prosecution now completed within 10 months and falling. There have been 5 changes of Justice Secretary in just 18 months, each one having to get across their brief and the way their department works. The Conservative Party has long called themselves the party of law and order, but these long delays in the criminal justice system have been seized upon by the opposition. But away from politics, for those waiting for justice, the impact can be devastating.
Even though the scars and the bruises and the marks have gone, mentally, it still affects me like it was yesterday.